Liam stood on the bridge of his small exploration ship, watching the bright blue and green planet below. This planet was called Valora. It was far from Earth, but full of life and beauty. He had come here as part of a peaceful mission to meet new people and learn about their culture. The ship landed softly on a smooth landing pad near a large city that looked like it was made of glass and white stone. Liam stepped out, feeling a little nervous but excited. He was wearing a simple uniform, with a small badge that showed he was from Earth. As Liam walked toward the city, he noticed many tall buildings with strange shapes, birds with bright colors flew above, and plants with shining leaves grew everywhere. The air smelled fresh, and the sky was clear and bright. Suddenly, a soft voice called out, "Welcome, traveler." Liam turned and saw a young woman standing nearby. She was tall and graceful, with shining silver hair and soft blue eyes. Her skin had a gentle glow, and like anything Liam had seen before, she wore a long, flowing dress that shimmered like the stars. "I'm Nira," she said with a small smile. "I am the Princess of Valora." Liam smiled back, feeling a little shy. "I'm Liam, from Earth. It is an honor to meet you, Princess Nira." Nira bowed her head slightly, and Liam felt a warmth in his chest. There was something kind and real in her eyes. They began to walk together toward the city center, where many people had gathered to welcome Liam. The people of Valora were peaceful and curious. They looked at Liam with interest but no fear. As they walked, Liam tried to learn more about Nira and her world. She told him about Valora's history, a place where people lived in harmony with nature and technology. Their cities were built to protect the environment and help all living beings. Liam shared stories about Earth, its oceans, mountains, and many cultures. Nira listened carefully, laughing softly at some of Liam's funny tales. After some time, Liam felt more relaxed. He wanted to say something friendly, but the words caught in his throat. Finally, with a shy smile, he said, "Hey, sweetie." Nira's eyes widened in surprise. Her cheeks turned a soft pink. For a moment, she didn't say anything. Then she looked at Liam and replied quietly, "Yes, darling." Both of them laughed, a warm, happy sound that seemed to lighten the air. The people nearby smiled too, seeing the friendly moment. That simple joke broke the ice between them. From that moment on, Liam and Nira felt like friends. Even though they came from very different worlds, the rest of the day passed quickly. Liam explored the city with Nira by his side. They visited beautiful gardens where flowers glowed softly. In the shade, they saw children playing with small robots that floated in the air like tiny birds. Nira showed Liam a special place, a tall tower with a glass dome on top. Inside, there was a large map of the stars and planets. It was a place where the leaders of Valora watched for any dangers from space. Liam was amazed by the technology, but also by how calm and peaceful everything felt. As the sun began to set, casting soft pink and orange light across the sky, Liam and Nira sat quietly on a bench near a sparkling fountain. Liam looked at Nira and said, "I never thought I would meet someone like you. It feels special." Nira smiled and nodded. "I feel the same. Maybe this meeting is the start of something new for both of our worlds." They watched the stars appear one by one. A gentle breeze blew, carrying the scent of sweet flowers. Liam knew that this was only the beginning of his journey on Valora, but already he felt hope and excitement. The meeting between a human and an alien princess was more than just a diplomatic mission. It was a chance to build friendship and trust across the stars. And with one simple, funny moment, "Hey, sweetie," a new story had begun. The morning sun of Valora rose slowly over the shining city. Its golden light touched the crystal towers and white bridges, making the whole place look like it was glowing. Liam woke up in his guest room inside the royal palace. The room was large but simple, with smooth white walls and a round window that showed the endless sky. Liam stretched and looked outside. Birds with long wings flew in graceful circles far below. The streets were already busy with people walking, talking, and carrying baskets of fruit or small machines that floated beside them. There was a gentle knock at the door. "Come in," Liam said. The door slid open, and Nira stepped inside. She wore a light blue dress, and her silver hair shimmered in the morning light. She was smiling warmly. "Good morning, Liam," she said. "I thought I would show you more of our city today. There are many places I want you to see." Liam nodded with a grin. "I'd like that. Yesterday was amazing." They walked out into the main hallway of the palace. The floors were polished stone, and tall glass windows showed the city from different angles. Every now and then, a servant or guard bowed to Nira as they passed outside. The city was alive with sound. There were markets filled with fresh food, colorful fabrics, and strange but beautiful tools. People greeted Nira kindly, and many looked at Liam with curiosity but also friendliness. One old man walked up and handed Liam a small piece of fruit. "For the guests from the stars," he said with a smile. Liam thanked him, and Nira whispered, "That is a gift of welcome. It means they already see you as a friend." They continued walking until they reached a large open park in the center of the city. Green grass spread out in every direction, dotted with tall silver-leaf trees. A pond with crystal-clear water reflected the blue sky. "This is the Heart Garden," Nira explained. "It is the oldest place in Velora. My people believe it is where peace begins." Liam walked beside the pond, watching small fish swim under the surface. "It's beautiful," he said. "On Earth, we have parks, but nothing quite like this. Everything here feels so calm." Nira sat down on the soft grass, and Liam joined her. She told him stories about the history of Velora, how our ancestors built the cities without harming nature, how they learned to share resources, and how they avoided wars for many generations. Liam listened closely. Earth could learn a lot from your people, he said honestly. Nira tilted her head, curious. "And what could we learn from humans?" Liam thought for a moment. "Maybe how to adapt quickly. Humans have faced many challenges, disasters, wars, changes in the environment, but we always find a way to survive, sometimes even to grow stronger." Nira's eyes softened. "That is an important strength. I think our worlds could help each other." As the day went on, they visited more parts of the city. Nira took Liam to the Sky Bridge, a high glass walkway that connected to tall towers. From up there, the entire city stretched out below, with small flying vehicles gliding through the air. Liam held onto the railing, amazed at the view. "I feel like I'm standing in a dream," he said. Nira smiled. "It's just home to me, but seeing it through your eyes makes me love it even more." They also visited the Knowledge Hall, a vast library filled with glowing shelves of crystal data stones. Nira explained that each stone held hundreds of years of history, science, and art. Liam picked one up, and it began to project moving images of planets and galaxies. "This is incredible," he whispered. Nira laughed softly. "And I have not even shown you the music chambers yet." By the afternoon, they were walking along a quiet path lined with flowers that gave off a gentle light. The air was warm, and a soft wind carried the scent of something sweet, Liam noticed. Nira looking thoughtful. "What's on your mind?" he asked. She hesitated, then said, "You seem different from what I imagined humans would be. My people have heard many stories about Earth, some good, some worrying. But you make me believe that humans can be trusted." Liam chuckled lightly. "I could say the same about Velora. Before coming here, I didn't know if your people would welcome me, but you've been nothing but kind." There was a short pause. Then, almost without thinking, Liam grinned and said, "Hey, sweetie." Nira blinked, surprised, just like the first day. Her cheeks turned pink again, and she laughed. "Yes, darling," she replied softly. They both laughed together, their voices blending with the rustle of leaves in the wind. It felt like an inside joke now, a little bridge between their worlds. That evening, Nira invited Liam to join her for a traditional meal in the palace gardens. The table was set with colorful dishes, bright fruits, warm bread like rolls, and a glowing drink that tasted like honey and mint. As they ate, Nira told him about an old tradition on Velora. When two people share 3 days of laughter together, they are considered bonded friends for life. Liam raised an eyebrow. "We've already laughed twice." I guess we just need one more day. Nira smiled. Then it is a challenge. We must find a reason to laugh tomorrow. The stars began to appear. In the sky above them, from the palace garden, the view was perfect. The Milky Way stretched across the heavens, and Liam could see Earth's distant sun as just another small point of light. Nira noticed him staring upward. Do you miss your home sometimes? Liam admitted, but right now, I'm glad. I'm here. Nira's smile was quiet but warm. Then I am glad to. Later, as Liam returned to his room, he thought about the day. He had learned so much about Velora, its history, beauty, and peaceful way of life. But what mattered most was the growing friendship between him and Nira. He didn't know where it would lead. Maybe it was just the start of a diplomatic connection between two worlds. Or maybe it was something deeper. One thing was certain. Tomorrow, they would find another reason to laugh, and with each day, their bond would grow stronger. The next morning on Velora was bright and clear, but something in the air felt different. Liam couldn't explain it at first. The city still shone in the golden light. People still walked through the streets, and the birds still glided overhead. Yet, as he stepped out into the palace courtyard, he noticed the guards were more alert than usual. Nira was waiting for him near the fountain. She was dressed in a white and silver gown, but her smile seemed smaller than before. Good morning, Liam said. Something wrong? She looked at him for a moment before answering. There has been news. The Star Watchers saw something strange in the outer sky last night. Liam raised his eyebrows. What kind of strange? Nira began walking slowly toward the main hall, and Liam followed. They detected a group of ships far beyond our border. They are not from Velora, and no one has seen their kind before. The ships are large and moving fast. Maybe it's just traders or explorers like me, Liam suggested. Though his voice was unsure, Nira shook her head gently. Perhaps. But the Watchers said the ships travel in tight formation, as if prepared for battle. Inside the main hall, several of Velora's council members were gathered around a large holographic display. Floating in the air was an image of space, the stars, the planets, and a cluster of red shapes moving steadily toward Velora's system. This is the reading from last night, said a tall man in green robes. These ships are still far away, but they are approaching. We do not know their purpose. Liam stepped closer. Studying the shapes, have you tried sending a message? We have, the man said. But there was no reply. Nira glanced at Liam. Our people have not fought a war in hundreds of years. We do not have the kind of weapons that most worlds use. Liam nodded slowly. On Earth, when you see something unknown moving toward you like this, it's best to prepare, even if you hope for peace. After the meeting, Liam and Nira walked together in the gardens. The soft breeze moved through the trees, but Liam could feel a tension beneath the calm beauty. What will you do? He asked. Nira sighed. We will watch the ships for now. If they enter our border, we will decide then. My father, the king, believes in peace first, but she looked at Liam with concern. I worry they may not share our belief. Liam thought for a moment. Maybe I can help. I'm no soldier, but I've studied many kinds of space travel. If I can learn more about your systems, maybe I can help build some kind of defense or warning system. Nira's eyes brightened slightly. You would do that, of course, Liam said. Your people have welcomed me like family. I can't just watch if danger comes. That afternoon, Nira took Liam to the Veloran Science Tower. It was a tall, sleek building with walls of smooth crystal. Inside, scientists worked quietly at large round tables, studying star maps and testing small glowing devices. Liam was introduced to an older scientist named Roland. He had deep lines on his face, but sharp, curious eyes. So, you are the human traveler, Roland said with a slight smile. Nira tells me you want to help. That's right, Liam replied. I've seen how fast trouble can appear in space. If we prepare early, maybe we can avoid it. Roland led them to a large room with a wide window that showed the city below. In the center of the room was a tall machine with spinning rings of light. This is our Skynet, Roland explained. It watches the space around Velora, but it was made for mapping and research, not defense. Liam studied the machine. Then maybe we can make it do both. Over the next few days, Liam worked alongside the scientists. He learned how the Skynet stored its data and how it sent signals across long distances. Using some of his own knowledge from Earth, he suggested changes, faster signal relays, more sensitive scanners, and a program to track ship movement patterns. Nira visited often, bringing food and sometimes helping by translating the scientists' technical terms into simpler words for Liam. One evening, after hours of work, Liam sat on the balcony outside the science tower. The sun was setting, and the city below was full of warm golden light. Nira joined him, carrying 2 cups of a warm, sweet drink. "You've been working hard," she said, handing him one. "Just want to make sure you're safe," Liam said with a smile. "Besides, it's interesting. Your technology is different from Earth's, but in some ways, it's even better." Nira looked at him quietly for a moment. "It means a lot to me that you're helping." Liam chuckled lightly. "Hey, sweetie, I'm not going to let a bunch of unknown ships mess with my favorite alien princess." Nira laughed softly and replied, "Yes, darling." It had become their little tradition now. A moment of lightness in the middle of the growing tension. A week later, Roland called them both into the Skynet control room. The holographic map floated above the table again, but this time, the red shapes were closer. "They will reach the edge of our system in 10 days, Roland said gravely. Liam frowned. "Still no communication, none," Roland replied. Nira took a deep breath. "Then we must be ready, even if they come in peace. We should not be caught unprepared." Liam nodded. "We'll make sure they know Valora is not defenseless." That night, as Liam walked through the palace halls toward his room, he thought about what was coming. He had come to Valora as a guest, a traveler who only wanted to explore. Now, he was becoming part of something bigger, protecting a world that had given him kindness and trust. He knew the next days would be important. The unknown ships could be peaceful explorers, or they could bring trouble. Either way, Liam was determined to stand beside Nira and her people. The stars outside. His window shone brightly. Somewhere out there, the ships were moving closer. The calm days of Valora were about to change. The morning began with a strange silence over Valora. The streets were not empty, but people spoke in low voices. News had spread quickly. The unknown fleet was now only 1 day away. From the palace balcony, Liam could see the city as it prepared. Markets were still open, but there were more guards in the streets. Shining airships moved supplies toward the outer defense towers. Even the children, usually laughing and chasing each other in the parks, stayed close to their families. Nira joined him on the balcony. She wore a white cloak with the crest of Valora, a silver star over a calm blue wave. "Today, we speak to the people," she said. "They must know we are ready." Liam nodded. "They'll follow you. I've seen how they look at you. You give them hope." Nira's eyes softened, but her voice stayed steady. "Hope is good, but hope must stand beside action." In the central plaza, thousands of Valorans gathered. The crystal spire in the center reflected sunlight across the crowd. Nira stepped forward onto the speaking platform, with Liam just behind her. The crowd quieted instantly. "My people," Nira began, her voice carrying clearly through the plaza. "You have heard of the ships that approach. We do not know their purpose, but we do know this. Valora has lived in peace for many generations, and we will protect that peace." A cheer rose from the crowd, but Nira lifted her hand for silence. "We will try for friendship first. If they wish to speak, we will listen. But if they bring harm, we will stand together. No one will take our home from us." Liam stepped forward next. He felt every eye watching him. "I come from a faraway world," he said, "and I've seen what happens when people are not ready for trouble. But here, I've seen courage. I've seen kindness. I've seen a people worth protecting. I'll stand with you, no matter what comes." The cheers this time were louder, and even Nira smiled. Back in the science tower, Liam and the scientists worked quickly. The Skynet now tracked every movement of the incoming fleet. Red symbols on the holographic map showed their exact positions. "They are slowing down," Roland announced, "They will reach the edge of our atmosphere in less than 12 hours." Liam looked at the defense plans. "The energy shields are in place?" "Yes." A younger scientist confirmed. "And the signal amplifiers are ready. We can send a message the moment they are close enough." Nira stood beside Liam. "We send the message first. No weapons, no threats, just words," Liam agreed. "But if they don't answer, we go to the next step." As the hours passed, the city prepared. Large silver drones took positions in the skies. The outer towers powered up with a low hum, their blue shield fields shimmering faintly. The space docks near the city loaded supply ships with food and medical kits, just in case people had to be moved quickly from the highest tower. Liam could see the horizon darkening. At first he thought it was a storm. Then he realized those were the ships. Dark, sharp shapes broke through the sky, moving in perfect formation. Each one was larger than any Valoran craft. They had no visible markings, no lights, and no signal of greeting. Roland's voice came through the comm device. "They're in our airspace." Nira stood in the royal communication chamber. A large round device projected her image into the open sky, so the incoming ships could see her face. She spoke calmly. "Unknown visitors. This is Princess Nira of Valora. You have entered our skies. We welcome peaceful contact. Please state your purpose." The message was sent. The chamber fell silent. Everyone waited. 1 minute passed. 2 minutes. No answer. Liam's jaw tightened. "They heard you. They're just not talking." Finally, a reply came. A deep, metallic voice. "We are the Korvik. Your planet has resources we require. You will surrender access, or we will take it." Gasps filled the chamber. Nira's voice stayed calm. "Valora does not surrender its land or its people. If you wish to trade, we can speak, but threats will be met with defense." The voice replied coldly. "Defense will fail. You have until the next cycle to decide." Then the signal cut. Back in the War Council room, Liam looked at the leaders. "They're not here to talk. We need to show them that Valora isn't easy prey." Nira turned to Roland. "Activate the shields, prepare the pulse cannons, but do not fire unless they attack." Liam added, "We should also move the Skynet into active defense mode. It can project false signals, make them think we have more ships than we do. Confusion is a weapon too." The council agreed. Within the hour, the city was surrounded by a dome of shimmering blue light. From above, it made Valora look like a shining jewel in space. Night fell, but no one in the palace slept. Liam stood with Nira on the balcony, watching the dark shapes of the Korvik ships circling high above. They didn't attack yet, but the tension was like a tight string ready to snap. "You're calm," Liam said quietly. Nira smiled faintly. "Not calm, just steady. My father always told me, fear is a shadow. If you let it grow, it hides your sight." Liam chuckled softly. "You always have the perfect words." Nira glanced at him, a spark of warmth in her eyes. "And you always have the strange ones." "Hey, sweetie," Liam laughed. "Yes, darling." For a moment, the worry faded. They just stood there, side by side. To friends waiting for whatever would come with the dawn. At first light, alarms rang through the city. Roland's voice came through the comm. "The Korvik are moving. 3 ships are diving toward the shield." Liam's heart pounded. "This is it?" Nira's voice was steady. "Then let us stand together." The first Korvik ship fired a blast of green energy at the dome. The shield shimmered but held strong. The second and third ships fired again, harder. Inside the science tower, Liam gave the order. "Activate the false signal projectors. Make them think our fleet is launching now." In the skies above, dozens of ghostly shapes appeared, perfect illusions of Valoran warships, racing toward the Korvik. The enemy fleet hesitated. Nira's voice echoed over the city. "Korvik ships, you see our strength. Leave now, and we will not pursue. Stay, and you will be met with full force." For a long moment, there was only silence. Then, slowly, the Korvik ships began to pull back. That night, the city celebrated quietly. The threat had not been destroyed, but it had been turned away. Liam knew it might return, but Valora had. proving it would not surrender without a fight, and for the first time since he'd arrived. Liam felt not just like a guest, but like a true defender of this world. The day after the Corvic ships pulled away, the air over Valora felt lighter. But the tension had not completely vanished. People moved about their daily lives again. Yet there was an unspoken understanding. The danger was not gone forever. From the palace balcony, Liam watched the morning market below. Merchants were setting up their stalls again. Children were back in the gardens, laughing. But there were more guards than before, and every few minutes, a silver airship would pass overhead, scanning the skies. Nira joined him, her long cloak moving gently in the breeze. You can see it in their faces, she said softly, relief. Yes, but also worry. They know the Corvic might return. Liam nodded. They probably will. Bullies don't give up just because they lose once. But the important thing is, they know Valora isn't easy prey anymore. A faint smile touched Nira's lips. And that is thanks to you? Liam shook his head. It's thanks to all of us. Your people stood together. I just helped point the shield in the right direction. Later that morning, a meeting was held in the great council hall. The long crystal table was surrounded by Valora's leaders, scientists, and defense commanders. Liam sat at one side, next to Nira and Roland. King Sarl, Nira's father, entered the hall. He was tall, with silver hair like his daughter's, and calm, watchful eyes. I have heard much about the events of yesterday, the king said, his voice deep but warm. I have also heard about the human who stood beside my daughter when the sky grew dark. Liam stood respectfully. Your Majesty, it was an honor to help. The king gave a small nod. You did more than help. You brought new ideas. And you stood firm when fear was near. For that, you have my gratitude and the gratitude of Valora. He turned to the council. We will not close our skies. We will remain open to friendship. But we will also prepare. If the Corvic return, they will find us ready. The council agreed. Orders were given to strengthen the shield, build more signal projectors, and begin creating real defense ships, not just illusions. Liam offered to help with the designs. In the days that followed, Liam became a familiar sight in the science tower. He worked side by side with Valoran engineers, drawing on human knowledge to make their systems faster and stronger. The Skynet was upgraded again, now able to detect ships from twice the previous distance. Nira visited often, sometimes to check on progress, sometimes just to talk. One afternoon, she brought him a small silver pin shaped like a star. This is for you, she said, handing it to him. It's the mark of the star friends, those who have defended Valora. Liam turned the pin in his hand. I don't know what to say. You've already said it, Nira replied. You said it when you chose to stay and help, despite the work. Liam made time to explore more of Valora. He walked through the quiet moonlit gardens, visited the high mountain, bridges outside the city, and even took a trip to the floating islands that drifted above the sea. Everywhere he went, people recognized him. They would nod, smile, or offer him fruit as thanks. One evening, in the palace garden, Liam sat with Nira by the fountain. The water sparkled under the starlight. Things feel different now, Liam said. Before, I was just visiting. Now, I feel like I belong here. Nira looked at him thoughtfully. Maybe you do. Home is not only where you were born. Sometimes, it is where you choose to stand. Liam smiled. I like that. Then, with a playful grin, he said, Hey, sweetie. Nira laughed softly and replied, Yes, darling. It had become more than a joke now. It was a reminder of how their friendship began, and how it had grown stronger through danger and trust. But not all the news was peaceful. One afternoon, Roland called Liam and Nira to the Skynet control room. The holographic map flickered to life, showing not one, but three groups of red shapes at the edge of the system. They are not moving toward us yet, Roland said, but these readings are clear. The Corvic are not gone. They are gathering. Nira's face grew serious. They are preparing for something bigger. Liam studied the patterns. Looks like they're testing your reaction. They want to see if you drop your guard. Roland nodded. Then we must not. That evening, the palace held a quiet council meeting. The king spoke carefully. If the Korvac planned to return in greater strength, we must have allies beyond Valora. Liam leaned forward. I might be able to help with that. Earth has colonies and friends across different systems. If I send the right message, some of them might answer. Nira looked at him with hope in her eyes. Could they be trusted? Not all, Liam admitted. But some, yes, enough to make a difference. The king agreed. Then you will send your message. Tell them what has happened here. Tell them Valora stands for peace. But we'll fight a force over the next days. Liam worked with the palace communication officers to prepare a message to send across the nearest star routes. It was clear and direct. Valora had faced an unprovoked threat, had defended itself, and now sought allies to ensure future safety. The message was sent in all major trade languages. Now they could only wait for answers. On the fifth night after the Korvac's retreat, Liam stood alone on the palace balcony. The stars were sharp in the cold sky. Somewhere out there, beyond the reach of his eyes, the Korvac were planning their next move. Somewhere else, maybe allies were hearing his call for help. Nira joined him quietly, carrying 2 cups of warm, sweet drink. She handed one to him. No word yet, she asked. Not yet, Liam said. But it's early. They stood side by side, looking up at the stars. Nira spoke softly. Do you ever think about the first day we met? I thought you were strange, calling me sweetie. But now, I'm glad you did. Liam smiled. It's the best thing I've said in years. For a while, they said nothing more. The night was calm, the city quiet, but both knew the peace was temporary. The real test was still ahead, and when it came, they would face it together. The soft hum of the starship filled the quiet cabin. Rian sat in the pilot's chair, staring at the endless view of space. Beside him, Princess Leora leaned slightly forward, her eyes fixed on the glowing map in front of them. They were getting closer to the shadow clusters, the most dangerous region of this part of the galaxy. It had been days since their last rest, but neither of them seemed tired. Every passing hour brought them closer to the truth and, more importantly, closer to the enemy who had been following them since the Royal Palace incident. We will pass the clusters soon, Rian said, his voice low. Leora nodded. The shadow Lord's ships won't chase us into them. They fear the unknown here. Rian didn't believe in fear. He believed in strategy. But the fact that even the most dangerous raiders avoided this place made him uneasy. The shadow clusters were a vast field of ancient debris, broken moons, and floating structures that had belonged to a long-forgotten civilization, legend said. Some of these ruins still had working defenses, machines that woke only when outsiders came too close. Suddenly, the navigation screen flickered. The bright blue path they had been following vanished for a second, replaced by static. Rian frowned. That's not good. Leora leaned closer. What is it? We're being scanned, Rian replied. His hands tightened on the controls. But not by the Shadow Lord's forces. This feels different. A soft chime echoed through the cabin. A message appeared on the screen. It was written in an old alien script neither of them had seen before. Leora's eyes widened. I've read about this. This is the language of the ancients, the ones who built these ruins. The message repeated 3 times, then disappeared. Without warning, the starship's engine slowed. Rian tried to push them back to full power, but the controls didn't respond. They've locked us, Rian said grimly. Locked us? Leora repeated. Yes. Whoever sent that message. They're controlling the ship now. The view outside changed as the ship turned on its own, gliding deeper into the shadowed maze of broken asteroids and dark metallic structures. Giant pieces of shattered towers drifted past, some glowing faintly from cracks filled with strange energy. Are we going to crash? Leora asked, gripping the seat. No, Rian said. I think they want us to follow. Minutes passed in tense silence. Finally, the ship entered a massive hollow structure, like a space station built into an asteroid. The inside glowed with a faint golden light. As soon as they landed, the controls unlocked. The ramp lowered slowly. A thin mist rolled in. Stay behind me, Rian said. He stepped out first, scanning the area. The air was strangely warm for space. The floor beneath them was made of black stone, marked with patterns that looked like constellations. They walked forward, their footsteps echoing. Then, they saw a tall figure standing in the center of the chamber. It wore silver armor that reflected the golden light, and its face was hidden behind a smooth mask. In its hand was a staff that seemed to hum softly. "Who are you?" Rion asked. The figure's voice was calm, almost gentle. "I am the guardian of the last gate. You have entered the Shadows game." "The Shadows game?" Leora repeated. "Yes," the guardian said. "Long ago, our kind fought the Shadow Lord's ancestors. We created these ruins as a trap test for any who would try to take what is not theirs. But now, the Shadow Lord seeks the heart of the clusters. If he finds it, no world will be safe." Rion stepped closer. "And you want us to stop him?" The guardian tilted its head. "You carry the crystal of the royal line, only that can unlock the heart before he does. But there's a price. If you fail the game, you will not leave here alive." Leora's hand instinctively touched the small silver chain around her neck, where the crystal hung hidden under her clothing. "What is the game?" she asked. The guardian raised its staff, and the floor beneath them shifted. The constellations glowed brighter, and suddenly, the stone platform broke into smaller pieces. Floating in midair, around them, empty black space stretched endlessly. "Even though they were still inside the structure, you will walk the path of light," the guardian said. "One wrong step, and the void will take you." Rion glanced at Leora. "Guess we're not sleeping tonight." The challenge had begun. They moved carefully across the floating platforms, each glowing for a few seconds before fading to darkness. Sometimes the light path branched, forcing them to choose. Leora's quick eyes caught the faint shimmer of safe stones ahead, guiding them. Behind them, the guardian watched silently. Halfway across, a sharp vibration shook the platforms. Out of the blackness, shadowy shapes rose, creatures without faces, moving like smoke. They lunged toward Rion and Leora, their long arms stretching unnaturally. Rion drew his energy blade, swinging at the nearest shape. It scattered like mist, but reformed seconds later. "They're endless," Leora shouted. "Then we keep moving," Rion replied. Step by step, they advanced, jumping from one glowing stone to the next. Fighting off shadows that refused to stay gone, Leora kept her focus, her breathing steady, her eyes locked on the safe path. Finally, they reached the last platform. It merged into solid ground again. The guardian approached, lowering its staff. "You have passed the first trial." "That was the first," Rion muttered under his breath. "You will rest now," the guardian said. "The final trial awaits at dawn. But remember this, if you face the Shadow Lord without unity, you will fail. The game is not just about skill. It is about trust." Rion and Leora exchanged a look. They had fought side by side before, but now the stakes were greater than ever. Somewhere far beyond the clusters, the Shadow Lord's fleet was moving closer. And if the Guardian's warning was true, their next encounter would decide the fate of more than just themselves. The sky above the alien capital was brighter than usual. It was the day of the Great Alliance ceremony, and people from both worlds had gathered in the central plaza. Flags from Earth and the alien kingdom flew side by side. The air carried the sound of drums, flutes, and excited voices. Aaron stood at the edge of the stage, wearing a white ceremonial suit given to him by the royal court. The alien princess stood beside him in her silver gown, her crown shining in the sunlight. She smiled at him, her eyes soft and warm. They had been through so much together: storms in space, dangerous missions, misunderstandings, and moments of trust. "Are you ready?" she asked softly. Aaron nodded. "I'm ready." The king stepped forward, raising his staff. The plaza fell silent. "Today," the king announced, "we welcome a new era, a time when humans and our people work together, share knowledge, and protect each other. This would not have been possible without the courage of these two." Cheers rose from the crowd. Aaron and the princess looked at each other and laughed quietly. They remembered the awkward moment when he had first called her sweetie by accident. Now, it was part of their story, one that people would tell for years after the speeches. The final part of the ceremony began. A large crystal was brought forward, glowing faintly. It was called the Bond Stone, a symbol of unity between two sides. Both Aaron and the princess placed their hands on it. For a moment, the crystal shone brighter, as if it could feel the connection between them. When the glow faded, the crowd erupted into celebration. Drums beat louder, dancers filled the plaza, and children ran around with ribbons in their hands. Later that evening, Aaron and the princess walked together through the royal gardens. The night sky was clear, and the stars seemed closer than ever. They spoke about the future plans for trade, joint space missions, and cultural exchanges. But most of all, they talked about how much they had learned from each other, you know? The princess said, smiling at him, "When you first came here, I thought humans were strange." Aaron laughed, "And I thought aliens were impossible to understand. But now," she continued, "I see that we are not so different." They walked in silence for a while, listening to the soft rustle of leaves. Then Aaron said, "Whatever happens next, I'm glad I met you." The princess looked at him, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. "Me too." In the distance, fireworks lit up the sky in bursts of gold and blue. The people in the plaza cheered again, their voices carrying into the night. And so, under the stars of two worlds, a new chapter began, not just for Aaron and the princess, but for every human and alien who believed in friendship over fear and hope over doubt. The end.